Good evening, this is BBC Radio News. Welcome to the Nature Channel. I'm actually joking, this is not the Nature Channel. Welcome my dear viewers. I missed one video. I was supposed to do yesterday unboxing video for those two Miltoniopsis, but because the temperatures were really high, I think it was like 20 degrees, and in my room there was another 25 because it just got so warm in here. I didn't have the chance to do this. So today I'm just going to talk quickly a bit about those two seedlings. Yes, they are seedlings. Those are very young plants. I've got myself two varieties. They're quite new hybrids. I probably won't say they're like made this year, but they're probably new as they've been bred within the last 5 years, something like that. Well, Miltoniopsis Eason is a quite known one. I know it won some awards because it's very vigorous and it blooms with a massive cascade of flowers. As you can see, this seedling is quite big. And then we have Miltoniopsis Maui Pride, and I'm pretty sure it is not Maui Pride, it's going to be actually Hawaiian Tide, but I'm not sure. It might be just a different cross or a very similar cross, which is, or it might be just it's the way it's registered here in Europe, but it is an American one. And it comes from Hawaii, as the name suggests with the Maui. Anyway, it is massive. This seedling is really big, and I'm really hoping it's going to grow really fast. The only thing is, I actually think I might have by accident put the tags into the wrong orchid. But, well, we'll see when it blooms. So, right now they're going to be named as they are. If it comes out like in a few months when they bloom, that they are totally different, then well happens. Oh well. It was because I was in such a rush yesterday and I really wanted to do something with them. So because it was really warm, I've noticed they've been soaked, and the plug, they were held in the cork, and the sphagnum moss got really soft. So I'm guessing before they were shipped they were really soaked properly, and in the material they were kept, probably because they were kept in a box like this, so it was a box full of those funny packing peanuts, so it got really hot and steaming that, and some of the roots started getting really soft and mushy. So yeah, I did have some operations to do yesterday, amputating the dead and mushy roots, and that was a bit, yeah, but thank God I got a massive, like a crystal orchid Christmas yesterday, and so much of my stuff came yesterday, so I had fresh potting mix, fresh, so all my new fertilizers and stuff, because I just missed everything. I just ended at one point, I was like, oh my god. Anyway, this is my package that came to me from Madeira in Portugal, which in Madeira they have a online shop. You would have to look for Madeira orchids, or you can buy them on eBay, and they're a really good seller. They sell plenty of orchids, some bromeliads and some very exotic plants, and they're really good. Although, well, the only problem is, like most people are concerned about the fact that, oh, if they ship my orchid it might freeze. Guys, I'm telling you, there's one thing more terrible than freezing. It's the fact that when they pack the orchid and it's spring like this, and we're going to get a beautiful summer this year, but your plant is going to get cooked alive in this box because it's going to be shipped from a warmer place in here. I'm waiting for another orchid which I won on an auction, and it's a beautiful golden cattleya, and it's going to come to me from Thailand. And right now in Thailand it's really hot. There are thunderstorms in there. My friend been there lately, and he says the temperatures are unbelievable, and the pressure and the temperature shift can be really drastic. So, and obviously the plants are, well, they don't really take that well with thunderstorms, and if the pressure just drops and they're in the transport, well, their health might be a bit more fragile. So yeah, anyway, this is a cattleya which I was waiting for. I've purchased it really cheap, and it is a Cattleya which my friend here from YouTube, Danny, Miss Orchid Girl, she purchased it from Orchid and Vishman, but her one is humongous. I mean, I saw that plant and I'm like, for the same price, and it is like the size of my yellow fowl, which is so unfair. But hey, I'm going to have it. I'm going to grow it because I love growing orchids from the beginning, because it just gives me the satisfaction I done everything right and it's mine as I want it. And and if something goes wrong, I can blame myself. I don't like getting proper big orchids and then I'm like 2 months after is like, well, I've done everything, but the orchid is still going wrong. So it means something happened to her before my care. I don't like that because, well, I'm a bit OCD, so I like controlling everything. Anyway, this is my plant, and this is the... because I'm just using one hand, I'm terrible. I don't have a stand, and I need to use my phone to film this, and if I use my camera, the quality of the movie is going to be too high, and it's basically going to eat my memory card alive. So anyway, this is the Leliocattleya Tropical Pointer Galaxy. Oh, maturing plant rare hybrid. Well, oh my god, it is a maturing hybrid. So, it is possible that within, well, how do you say maturing plant? 7 to 9 months, I might have a bloom. Okay, because I'm not very good at unpacking stuff and I don't want to hurt this plant, I'm going to pause the video for a second and I'm going to come back to you when I'm done. Okay, hello back. We have this beautiful little plant. Well, it's not really that beautiful. It is around 8 inches high. The pot, it is I think it's a 3 centimeter pod. Well, for a plant that has been traveling around Europe for the last, well, it was shipped Thursday last week, and it is Thursday now, so I would say for a whole week in transport, it is going rather great. So I'm actually really happy with this, because if you can look in here, oh, I don't know if it's going to focus camera, focus, okay, it's focusing. Basically you can see new roots growing here, which is really nice, makes me really happy. I had one root which was a bit dry, but that's not a bad thing, and it is a pretty decent sized plant. I mean, I'm really happy with this. I'm actually guessing it might be possible that one of those maturing bulbs will start blooming quite soon, and I'm actually really loving the foliage in here, because it is so juicy and green. It just looks like a salad. I can chop this out and eat. Well, no, actually I couldn't, because it's probably poisonous or something. I know some orchid foliage is poisonous. It's very bad for you, so no, never munch an orchid foliage ever. Anyway, I probably should report this, so I might do a reporting video with you, my first ever reporting video, which is going to be a bit scary because I never done that. So it was going to be like one hand reporting video, so you're going to be seeing what I'm going to do, but you're not going to actually see the motion video of me doing it. But okay, hey, I am ready to do this. Well, kind of. Basically, I am going to reporting this little orchid into a bigger 12-inch pot. Well, I'm kind of considering taking a smaller, well, pot, which was going to be used. It's not really an orchid pot, it's used from a different product, but it is the proper size and everything. And I do like using them pots because they're quite deep and quite high, and then they're around 10 inches, something like that. And it will work pretty well for it, and it will look really good with this. And also I am going to use a mix of a medium grade bark and some coconut husks and charcoal. I started using some mix which I bought from Amazon, and which is basically coconut husk. they come in different grade. It's for Miltoniopsis, it's like really tiny graded, and actually in the actual structure it resembles sphagnum moss for me. And I do hate sphagnum moss because living in here, the biggest problem is we have plenty of fungus gnats, and right now because it's really warm and everything is evaporating and the ground is like it is so humid, and I don't have to mist or spray anything, and we just have so much fungus gnats, and I'm just come to my room, open the windows, turn the fan on, and it's like kill zone because I run and I kill and I spray and I just can't get rid of them, and I made the worst possible mistake. Well, I wanted to come back to amaryllises because I do really love them, but the problem is I'm allergic to them. And I came out when I did had the prime jewels of my collection that I end up having a very bad sinus infection caused by allergy, and I end up in bed with a massive fever. But then I discovered that if you buy the double petaled one, that because they don't have the pollen, and because it's mutated into petals, they shouldn't be that bad. Let's say it like this. So I end up getting myself a double one, and it's just only one in my collection. But I need to use soil, and those bloody little bastards, sorry, I swear, and they hide in the soil, and there is so much of them. So today it was really sunny, and all the water from the soil started evaporating. I think I had like 50 on the leaves of that plant. So I was like, OMG, let's get the insecticide, and just sprayed everything. I just went mental today. Anyway, I'm going to report it to a bigger pot, and I'm going to show you some steps how I do it. It might not be the best way to do because I am not a proficient master in Cattleyas. I'm quite good in Oncidiums and Oncidium Alliance and Odontoglossums because they've been growing for me quite well. And Phalaenopsis, they're quite easy to be honest. It's hard to kill a Phalaenopsis. Well, to be honest, my nan did kill 5, so you can do it if you want it. So hang on, I'll be back in a sec. Well, we're back. As you can see, I've took the orchid out of its pod. It was slightly glued, well, not literally glued to the pot, but it was holding on pretty strong, so I did have to cut it open. I think basically the media looked like it was so falling. Well, anyway, at least we can sort this one out. And first of all, I'm going to use it is not a pot like the gardeners intended, but it is a nice big tall pod, and it's around 10 inches size. I do like them pods from Asda. You can use them from the seed pods. The good thing about them is they're reusable, and they have a nice lid which you can then use as a stand so the water doesn't drop. I decided that I'm going to use some hydroton bowls. Is it called hydroton, or what is it called? Hydroton. I can't even pronounce that bloody thing. So posh. It'll be like, those are the hydroton bowls. Anyway, I'm going to use them on the bottom for better drainage. Remember when working with them, because this stuff is really dusty, you need to always wash them and rinse them several times. I always start washing them in semi-boiling water because that will wash most of the toxic stuff from it. Basically, hydroton bowls work the same as when you do hydroponics. This is slightly different than the American stuff. They are less porous, but anyway, they work the same. They're really good for drainage, and if you want to, I did use them for my Paphiopedilums, because they say, they are terrestrial orchids, and in the natural world there's like rocks and stuff, except the medium. So I did mix the medium with those bowls, so they're actually doing really well. I have one Paphiopedilum which I did have for a year, and it's growing mental. I mean, it has 3 or 4 more new growths, and the actual root itself starting growing another growth. So, and it started blooming too after just 5 months of when the new growth just I don't think it's even mature. It just started blooming right now on me, and it's really massive. It's growing really, really fast. So I'm guessing it's pretty happy in that medium. Anyway, back to my Cattleya. I'm going to put it in, as I said, in a bark mixture. Saying that if you are dealing with any mixture that has charcoal bits in it, the plates and everything, always make sure, if you can, to wear a mask, because the charcoal will release a lot of dust, and if you're allergic or if you have asthma, this thing might get into your nose, and you might get really sensible about it. You might start coughing. I always have the problem that if I deal with it and I try to move away, as far away from it as possible, I still end up sneezing black stuff after like 2-3 hours. So yeah, be careful. And I'm going to go now clean this out of this old medium. I'm going to wash it, and I'm going to spray it with insecticide and pesticide. I don't use anything to sterilize my medium. I never done. I maybe it's a bad thing or a good thing, but I never done. And my orchids are growing pretty well. I always did spray them with insecticide and other things. I think the other day on RHS, which is the Royal Horticulture Society website, I've read that you can add to your pesticide and insecticide spray a few drops of Dettol, which is supposed to be kitchen sterilizing spray. It is just literally a few drops because this stuff is quite strong, and it would help. Well, I never tried it yet. I did read some people in US and the UK saying like, oh, it works. Well, till I actually grow my collection big enough to the point that I have orchids to experiment and spare just by spraying weird, untested stuff on them, I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to do it as I done before, as it worked for me. So yeah, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Well, I am back with my lovely orchid. Well, I've cleaned it. You can see the root system is not in that bad shape. There wasn't a lot of dead roots. Most of them, I actually think 95% of the roots is in a pretty good shape. The one you can see hanging, I'm guessing it is a maturing division from a much bigger and older plant. But anyway, it looks in a really good condition. So, it's time to pot it. I did spray it with my insecticide. It's Bayer garden products or something like that. As you can see, oh yeah, I do like this plant. Well, I'm going to pot it, and I have my hydroton bowls. You can see them here. I've washed them and soaked them for a few minutes to remove all the dust and the toxic matter for the plant. I did have to rinse them several times because I didn't want to have anything in that on my plant's roots, because that might harm them. And yeah, I'm going to pot it right now, and I'm going to show you the finished effect, because sadly I can't do too much stuff just using my arm, although I'm really good at doing stuff with my arm. Yeah, like writing, typing and talking. I think I even learned how to do scrambled eggs once while chatting to my sister on the phone, like for several hours, always. And it's just one hand, it's like, oh yeah, let's do stuff, a lot of stuff. So I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, I'm back. There was a bit of time gap here because I had to go downstairs and do some stuff. Anyway, the orchid spotted. It was a real pull to pot it because the rhizome itself has grown on an angle. It's like this. So I actually had to put it like in a weird way so it doesn't look too straight. It took me several tries to actually pot it properly so it doesn't pop out. But hey, it should grow properly. I just don't know which side is the young ones growing and which ones are the old one. But hey, anyway, I'm going to go and water it in a minute, and RHS suggests you should water your freshly potted orchid with, or growing one, with fertilizer, because they say if it was in the travel or transport, it might be might be just dehydrated, or it might be like suffering from problems with nutrition. So it's always best to give them some more nutrients. So I'm just going to pot it, and well, I'm going can't brain doesn't work anymore today. I'm going to add water with some Magic Grow fertilizer, the orchid one, Orchid Focus Grow. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining. I'm going to add some links. I'm going to add a link to the actual seller for the Madeira orchids, and I'm also going to add a link in the description to my friend Danny, Miss Orchid Girl, below. Go check her profile, like it, subscribe it, check her Twitter, show her all the love you can, because she's really amazing and I do really love her tips, and her videos are just the best. Okay, see you and thank you and bye bye.